embracing sacred wild. Welcome to this gathering as we dive into embracing the inner world of the prepared way of being. This is a unique gathering. The original gathering was supposed to be on Sunday, and the universe just had other plans, had other places for me to be. And I woke up this morning at 2:22 on Wednesday and was like, okay, this is when it's supposed to be. And we are going to traverse this experience throughout the powerful hour. It's about almost 3 o'clock in the morning. And there's always so much potent energy here in this between 3 and 5 in the morning. And I love being awake at this hour. It starts my day so beautifully for so many reasons. We are walking into embracing the inner world of the prepared way of being. And this is a perfect time and place and space to walk through that. I love this hour. The energy in general is just very potent at this hour. It's called the witching hour, right? But also when I wake up this early, my alarm isn't set until 4:30. But I woke up super early, and when I do, that gives me so much extra time to tend to and prepare myself for the day. And that usually means that I dance and do some weightlifting and sit in the sauna and meditate and cry and share my messages, do some social media editing. My microdoses of medicine that I share on social media means I get to post in the communities, my community, and then a community I'm a temple keeper in. And I get to just spend this time tending to myself, preparing myself for the day, giving myself everything that I need so I can go walk in this world fulfilled and ready to serve without having to manipulate other people or the world to give me what I feel I need, because I didn't. I wake up and I get to choose me first every single day. So when I go out into this world, I no longer have to require or expect or demand people to choose me, because I've already chosen me. And instead, I get to experience. And when I allow myself to experience, instead of manipulating people to choose me and give me what I need, I get so much more. I get more than what I need. And so to allow this to be a part of my morning practice, my rising ritual this morning, and share this precious space with you is such a gift. And I couldn't have prepared better if I had tried. And so surrendering to the universe, allowing the universe to guide this in the most perfect way that it's meant to be. And so, welcome to the sacred wilds. We gather here to practice in community. We have 6 core practices that help us on this path as we walk through the different ways of being. And these 6 core practices are what the structure, the bones of this gathering is. And so we start out with movement, and movement is the embodiment of our message, the embodiment of our essence, our truth, right? And so I will play 2 songs from, excuse me, 2 songs from the Prepared Way of Being playlist. The first song is Calling in the Plants by Maneesh the Moor. It's a beautiful song that I play regularly in medicine when I'm facilitating medicine ceremonies. The second song is Courage to Live by Mary Isis. And so during this time, just allow yourself to move and be moved by this energy, by the essence of what it is to embrace the inner world, our beliefs, identities, thoughts, and stories of the prepared way of being. Then we move into our prayer practice, speaking to the infinite, speaking to God, universe, spirit, or Gus, as we so lovingly have coined this infinite mystery. And so we pray, we speak, we express, we share with the infinite. I will leave some time, I will channel this prayer, and then I will leave some time at the end of silence that will allow you to offer your prayer. And you can do that out loud or within. The energy is expressed all the same. The energy is woven into this space just the same. Then we go into our meditation practice, being with the essence that we have just stepped into, right? Being with the infinite, being with Gus, God, universe, spirit. I have a timer set for 5 minutes. I am all sorts of releasing. I'm like burping and hiccuping and yawning, and tears coming out of my eyes. So it is a release, a purging type morning. So you're welcome. Anywho, we go into the meditation and we be with the infinite in just the way we know how to be. That can be sitting in silence, that can be moving, that can be screaming, yelling, crying, all of it. If you choose to make sound as you be with the infinite, I just ask that you put yourself on mute so that way those who do want to be with the infinite in silence can. I'll set the timer for 5 minutes, giving us a short yet infinite window to be with spirit, and I'll bring us back once that time is complete. After this, we walk into a combination culmination of our last three core practices, and that's contemplation, listening to the infinite. And that is expression, our message, our truth, our essence. And that is witnessing, allowing ourselves to be seen and allowing ourselves to see others. And so I will open that with a channel, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, I am the only one on right now. And so normally I will open up my channel and allow that to be expressed to everybody. And then I will open up a round table, which means the community comes together and we share the differences. We share different messages, we share different stories, we share different expressions. Our truth surrounds this experience so that way we can have a wider, more expanded vision, perception of what this is. We bring all our different pieces to the round table and put them together to see a bigger picture of the whole. Differences are celebrated here. Now, up into the point to where I finish my contemplation message and witnessing practice as a channel that will be posted publicly on YouTube. Then whenever we go into a roundtable discussion, that is going to can still be recorded, but that is only shared to the community. We do have a private community, the Sacred Wild. The link will be in the show notes or in the comments. And so feel free to join. It's a free community. The only cost is your limitations. And it's a place to express freely, to explore, to practice the 6 core practices as we walk through the 9 ways of being on this journey here. With all of that being said, we are going to walk through, we're going to open to, oh, my body is ready to move. I need to express, guys. Goodness gracious. Okay, we're going to step into our movement practice at 3:03 a.m., my dears. I will see you on the other side. Enjoy your movement, savor the prayer, and just enjoy the essence of being.
to live your life. I love you. Words can't describe what you mean to me. I love you. Don't forget this, that you are loved. Don't forget it, that you are loved. May we remember how loved we are. May we remember we are loved. May we have the courage to shine our lights, have the courage to live our lives, have the courage to live our lives, have the courage to live our lives, have the courage to live our lives.
You got lost in that. I forgot I was facilitating and holding a space. Oh, as we come back into this space after remembering how loved we are, remembering how supported we are, giving ourselves what we need and opening to the reality that we have everything that we need to have the courage to live this life. We come into prayer. We come into the beautiful conversation with the infinite in just the way that we know how. We're walking into embodying or embracing the inner world of this prepared way of being. And what the hell does that even mean? Right? We ask, Great Spirit, please show us. Please allow us to be a vessel of wisdom and understanding and teachings of what this way of being means, what it means in this inner world. Allow us to embrace this inner world, knowing that it is the cornerstone, the foundation for which our outer world is created. Knowing that this inner world is the secret that we have been dying to hear, that this is the treasure we have been searching to find. This is the answer to every question and the question for every answer. This inner world is our hero. And this inner world is the infinite, the mystery. This inner world is made up of every version of us that has ever existed. And let's allow this, please allow this, God, allow this to be a round table instead of a battlefield. Teach us that guns and violence and hate are no longer the tools needed to fight any war, because there are no more wars unless we choose for there to be. God, show us what we need to have a world like that, because we know this world is not like that yet. the outer world that we are living in other areas than here, and sometimes even here right at home, is still a battlefield. So, God, please show us the shifts that we need to make in this inner world. Show us the shifts in our beliefs, in our identities, in our thoughts, and our stories that will allow us to create a round table of peace and connectivity instead of a battlefield of hate and war and violence. God, as we journey through this, learning how to embrace the inner world through the prepared way of being, in the prepared way of being, show us the beliefs that align with the vision we have, the vision that we explored at our last gathering, the vision that is the expanded impact our intention makes, our medicine in this way of being will make, will create. The vision of the world that lives in our imagination, which is the first step of creation. Show us, God, the beliefs to allow that vision to be manifest reality. Show us the identities, the belief in who we are that are needed to allow that vision to be a manifested reality. Show us the thoughts we are to have in order to allow that vision to be a manifested reality, and show us, God, the stories that we shall weave in order for that vision to be a manifested reality, a vision of a round table of peace and connection, of camaraderie, of family, a round table of peace in which we come to from time to time while we're walking this path hand in hand, side by side, walking each other home. God, show us. Show us the way. Show us the map, the programming that needs to take place in our inner world in order for that vision to come to be manifested reality. And God, we know that in order to make those shifts, our first step is embracing what is. So, Gus, God, universe, spirit, infinite, the mystery, by whatever name you are called, it is all the same. Please show us, give us the strength and the courage to see what is already there, even when it is not something that we may enjoy or be proud of. Please bring to light the beliefs that support a war field instead of this round table, so we may know where to shift, so we may know where to let go. Please show us the identities in which identify separation instead of connection, so we know where to shift. Show us the thoughts that breathe hate instead of love, and show us the stories that weave attack and war instead of connection and love and peace, so we may know where to start, because those beliefs too are meant to be embraced. Those bits, beliefs, identities, thoughts, and stories are meant to be embraced and accepted and acknowledged. They served a purpose. God, please remind us, show us the purpose they serve, so we can let go in gratitude. So we can let go from a space of knowing that we have completed our journey together, that the medicine they held for us is medicine that we took in and wove into the way of being that we are right now, and they get to rest. They are retired. They get to play now and be memories instead of reality. God, please show us how to embrace what is right now, so we may see the path to get to the vision we hold. I will leave this space open for a few moments to allow you to offer your prayer, whether that is externally or internally. The energy is woven into this prayer all the same. And for that, and so much more, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, we're going to step into, it's 3:22. We're going to step into our meditation practice, our practice of being with the infinite in just the way we know how to be. And I have a timer set for 5 minutes. So please just allow yourself to get lost, and my voice will bring us back to this present moment. So savor this time, my dears. Enjoy. As you continue allowing the breath to amplify this experience of the infinite within you and without you, bring yourself back into your body. You can begin feeling your arms and your legs, your hands and your feet, your fingers and your toes. Maybe they wiggle a little bit and move. Begin feeling your torso, your back, your neck, your face. Maybe your lips form a smile. And in your own divine timing, your own authentic pace, you can open your eyes and come back to this sacred space. I love our water. Mm. We get our, I get all of our water from a spring out in Sedona, out in Oak Creek Canyon. It's wonderful. There's this creek down in Oak Creek Canyon, and um, it's just a beautiful drive in general. But there's a spring on the side of the road. It's Harding Springs is the name of the stop for anybody who wants to come. And there's this spring that it feeds through a pipe, and we go fill our water jugs up there once a month. And so we drink fresh spring water, like straight from the spring. And it's just such an amazing experience all the way around. Like, my kids love this water so much, and it's so interesting, to see the difference. But it's also the journey, right? We're genuinely fetching water, genuinely fetching water. And then we're in this space where other people are filling their waters too. So of course you meet these amazing people and just have this amazing experience, and you're out in nature, and it's this monthly requirement to go up to this beautiful space. So I don't know why that just came pouring out. So whoever would like, Harding Springs and Sedona and Oak Creek Canyon, just take your 5-gallon water jugs, go fill them up. It's amazing. So here we are, stepping into embracing the inner world of the prepared way of being, right? The prepared way of being. We stepped into our exploration of that, right? Exploring what our intention is, right? Our medicine. What is our medicine here in the prepared way of being? And then what impact will that medicine make? What vision do we hold of the prepared way of being? What does it, excuse me, purging the pain and the shame. Got you, does. Speaking of, hold on, we're gonna pause here. Okay. Right. So what's our intention, our medicine, and what impact does that medicine make in the world? What vision do we see of the impact that medicine makes in the world? And that's what we explored in this last way of being, right? So we have where we are now, what our medicine is. We have our desired destination, our vision, right? How do we get from here to there? How do we get that vision to be a manifested reality through the medicine of our intention, right? How do we do that? What are those steps? Like, that's great. I have a vision. That's great. I have an intention. Now, what the fuck do I do with that? And so this is where we are stepping into those tangible, actionable steps, right? The path. What step do we take? And it's broken up into, and this is our mission. Our mission, how we get from our intention to our vision, is our mission, right? And this is the embodiment. These are the steps. These are the shifts and the changes and transformations that we take place in. This doesn't have to be something big and giant. It can be, but it's the small shifts. It's taking that 1 minute, 60 seconds every morning to look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. Or I am willing to learn how to love you. It's those little things that compile and make big shifts, create big change and impact. And so we break this up into two different pieces. We have our inner world, and then we have the outer world, which we'll explore this coming Sunday. And right now, the inner world, it's it's made up of bits, bits, beliefs, identities, thoughts, and stories. These are the pieces, and there's so many more. Don't get me wrong; those are not the only ones. Those are the big ones that are alive for me. And so are bits of the inner world, beliefs, identities, thoughts, and stories. So these are our guides. This is what creates our inner world. This is what creates our perception, our reality. This is the inner weavings of our brain, of our mind. And oftentimes these beliefs, identities, thoughts, and stories are created at the time we are children, right? And oftentimes these operate in our unconscious mind, our subconscious, the unknown. And so this practice here is an invitation to begin to access your unconscious mind. And what does that look like? Right? What does that look like? It's the first thing that pops into your head. It's the unfiltered response. This is where any type of presence practice is going to serve you beautifully, because you're going to begin to bring awareness to all of the filtering that you do to your unconscious minds, right? And by filtering, I mean you have a thought that comes up. You're like, oh, that's interesting. What can I do to weave this into something that is suitable to express? And then you have your filtered expression, right? We're looking for the unfiltered, raw, pure essence that comes up, that first response that doesn't make any fucking sense. That's what we want. That's the juiciness that we want here. Because that is normally where that depth of transformation can happen. Because oftentimes we'll do things like, why the fuck did I even do that? Why did I make that choice? Why did I make that decision? And we're just like baffled because it doesn't make any sense. And it's because we're operating from beliefs, identities, thoughts, and stories from that were formed in the past that no longer serve us. They have served us to the best and most fullest capability. We have completed our time together, and now it's time to shift, but we're not aware of it because it's in our unconscious mind, literally not aware of it. We cannot see it. We don't know that it exists. So that's why we're embracing the inner world. That first step is, okay, let's embrace what is. This doesn't have to be a shame-filled exercise. This gets to be an exercise of gratitude, because those beliefs, those identities and thoughts and stories, even though they may be hurting you right now, they kept you safe at some point. Otherwise, they would not have been created. So let's have some reverence, right? Let's offer some gratitude. Let's say, I want to see what it is that saved me and say, thank you. You get to rest now, right? So, our first step, we're going to take a catalog of what exists right now. And then we get to step into the imagination, right? We get to step into our vision. And so let's just take a moment right now. Our intention in the prepared way of being. What is our intention? Mine is to know that I am something valuable, worthy of being prepared for and prepared in this life. Yours gets to be whatever fits for you. But this is my intention. What does that feel like in my body? It makes me sit up a little straighter. It's my shoulders back a little bit. Gets a smile on my face, like this Like, oh yeah, that's right, baby. I'm here. Brings a sense of ease and peace. Like, oh, that's right. I already am. I don't have to work hard to do that anymore. I always have been. I just didn't realize it, and I do now because I am valuable, worthy of preparing for and being prepared in this life. You can even hear my voice is coming from a different place now, a stronger place down from my core, right? So that intention, that medicine, what impact does that create? What vision do I hold? The vision I hold is creating a world in which, a reality in which everybody knows that. And I get to be a walking expression and permission slip for everybody to know that. I get to be the reflection of this to everybody and give them that reality. For those who are willing to receive that reflection, allow them to know that they too are valuable and worthy of being prepared for. Give yourself what you need. I am imagining a world in which everybody gives themselves what they need. Okay. So we have that. And again, this is mine. This is what aligns for me. It does not have to align for you. You have your own intention, your own medicine, which is going to create your own vision. But we want to step into that, right? Step into that vision and that intention so that way we can come and do these next practices that we are about to walk into. The prepared way of being, right? Okay. So I am going to share my screen. Go. Not much has changed, but everything's different. Here we go. Okay. We're gonna come here, and I'm getting so good at this now, guys. It's practice. I'm telling you, it's all freaking practice. And we're gonna present. And we're gonna present. Here we go. All right, my dears. The Sacred Wild Path, Cycle 2. This picture, I just want to touch on that picture. That picture was taken after my first night. It was about 2 years ago. Or 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. 2.5 years ago. Yeah. November of 23. Yeah, November of 23. And I was called to go out into the middle of nature and sit with medicine on my own. And I did for 3 nights in November up in the Sedona area. So it was below freezing at nights, and I wasn't a big fan of the cold. And that was after the first night is when that picture was taken. Profound experience, life-changing experience for me. Prepared way of being. All right. And we've gone through this before. So we're in the embrace the inner world, right? And these pictures, ugh, I love this picture right here of me just holding myself, embracing myself. And like to me, what it feels like is like when we do this, this is what happens, right? When we allow ourselves the time and capacity and space to hold ourselves, to love ourselves, to be gentle and tender for ourselves, it ends up us no longer being the ones that rise out of the fire, but the fire begins to rise out of us. And this is me fire eating at a performance. But that's just, I'm just going to explain to you why I chose pictures. My inner world, sharing my inner world. All right. Our mission, an important assignment, the vocation or calling to go out into the world and spread faith, a strongly felt aim, ambition, or calling. And um and I wanted to put the origin of this because I thought it was it was great because it's to send, right? And the mid 16th century, denoting the sending of the Holy Spirit into the world, right? And it's from Latin missio. I'm not from mittere, send, right? So we are messengers. How do we deliver our intention to the world in order to create our vision into a manifested reality? Our mission is how we embody our intention. It is how we allow our medicine to do its work within us and outside of us. It is how we bring our vision into manifested reality, right? And so I'm really excited this year about the aim of the Sacred Wild Path, and it's been a couple of years, right? And so I get clearer, and I love that this is such a we are bringing it down into, we are still out in the ethers, yet it is bringing it into reality where we get to have, all of this infinite mystery become tangible, right? We take the visions and we still explore the infinite, but we're able to bring this into a manifested reality. So I just wanted to kind of share that because that's been a mission of mine for a long time and I didn't know how I was going to do it. And it's just over the years, right? Refine and align, refine, then realign, refine, then realign. And um, yeah, it's just really amazing to see. And this picture is my dear, dear medicine sister Des sitting on a cliff after one of her journeys that I had facilitated for her in Sedona, just looking out into that expansive world, right? Like, gosh, that's a vision. That's a place to have a vision. And so we step into this, right? Our inner world, it's a starting point for everything. It's what determines our experience of the outer world. It's what creates our outer world. It is our sanctuary, our home that we will never leave until our life on this earth is complete. And even then, we will be exploring 4 different aspects of our inner world as we learn to embrace what is and where we desire to be. These 4 aspects will be part of your mission, how you will bring your vision to manifested reality, how you will allow your intention, your medicine to do the work it is meant to do within you and the world around you. This is part 1 of the step-by-step guide to long-lasting change and alignment. A guide that is created by you, for you, and is you. And this is a really important piece for me. Let's see if I can move this. Okay. This is a guide you get to revisit and recreate anytime. Please don't take these steps as concrete. I mean, you can if you want to, it's yours. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I invite you to allow change, to let go of attachment. Don't get attached to this guide. Don't get attached to this intention or vision or any of it because it's going to change. As you grow and you go deeper in this path, as you expand your vision and your perception, as you go higher in your frequency, it's going to change. Refine and align, babe. But this guide that is created by you, for you, and is you, that's the important piece. I'm not here to tell you where you need to go or what your vision is or what your intention is. That's you. I'm not here to heal you or to tell you what to do. That's all you. I am here to create a container in which that allows you and supports you in that journey and that exploration. I am here to be with you on this journey and journey with you hand in hand, side by side. Let's do this together. Let's play together. Let's walk together. Let's change together. Let's change our worlds together. And so this step-by-step guide is created by you. The step-by-step guide is specifically made for you. And this is literally you. And so here we go. The bits of our inner world, beliefs, identities, thoughts, and stories. Our beliefs, our core beliefs are constructed between the age of 0 and 7 and then built upon until 25. This is what we know of ourselves and the inner world. We can identify a belief as a cause and effect, an equation, or by the use of the word because. So what this looks like is, well, yeah, of course, I got into an accident right after I finished paying off my car because that's just how the world works. Boom, belief. It's usually cause and effect. Or I'm like this because of X, Y, and Z. Our identities are who we believe ourselves to be. It's what we label ourselves as. We can identify identities by the use of I am. What follows those two words are the identities we hold. I am a mother, or I am a dancer, as opposed to I dance, right? Tends to be a noun as opposed to a verb. And these can hold potent energy. There's nothing wrong with identities. It's just a matter of whether or not they serve. Then we have our thoughts, our mind's attention, our ideas, wanderings, musings, the words, phrases, and sentences that pass through our mind day in and day out. What are those? What are those things that go through our head? Are these thoughts that are supportive? Are these thoughts that are repressive? Are these thoughts that are filled with shame or create shame? Are these thoughts that amplify? So it's bringing mindful awareness to what our thoughts are. And then we have our stories. We all have stories, origin stories, stories of what will happen, stories about what did happen, stories that we have lived by for as long as we have known. And these tend to be a culmination of beliefs, identities. Oh, and thoughts. It's supposed to be thoughts. It's our beliefs, identities, and thoughts woven together into this story. And gosh, how we cling to these stories. And storytelling is a profound medicine and a profound poison. It goes either way. So, what are your stories? Are they medicine or are they poison? Do they add to or do they take away? Do they amplify or do they repress? So, this is what we're going to be diving into. I just wanted to give a little overview of what I mean by bits, beliefs, identities, thoughts, and stories. And so, now we're going to begin exploring accessing our unconscious mind. As we explore the following contemplative questions, allow yourself to bring awareness and or write down the very first thing that comes to mind, even if it doesn't make sense. This is your unconscious mind coming to conscious awareness. And your unconscious mind tries to come to conscious awareness regularly, but we have a filter, right? And so, as our unconscious mind is trying to be heard, trying to be seen, trying to be known, and it isn't because we're pushing it away or we're not paying attention or we're not bringing awareness to it, it's going to come out in other ways through, and we'll explore this more next week, our actions, words, and energy, right? So, when it isn't able to be understood or heard or brought awareness to or seen, when it comes up, then it's going to come out in the same effort to try to be seen, heard, or be made aware of. So, our beliefs, identities, thoughts, and stories that live in our unconscious mind still create our reality and guide us in our choices. Just because we doesn't see it does not mean that it isn't a guide like isn't what we choose from, what we decide from, what we discern from. And that's the part that makes us feel powerless. That I don't know why I keep doing this. Well, let's dive in to figure it out right here, right now. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. So once we allow our unconscious mind to come to conscious awareness, that's when we get to make the shifts needed to create lasting change, right? And it's in this space. It's one thing to be able to discern, right? But then we're going to go into the practice. How are we going to integrate this? Okay, it's one thing to bring awareness to. Now, what are we going to do with it? And this is that second part, right? This is our bringing awareness to. This is our making those shifts and changes. And then we are going to have these actionable steps in which how to implement, integrate this into, and weave this into our being, into our way of being, right? So let's explore, my friends. That's the other piece. Like, let's get curious. Let's be a child here going on this crazy treasure hunt, looking and seeking and wondering what we're going to find around every corner. Like, let's get curious. You're about to meet yourself, and you are valuable. You are worthy to be prepared for and be prepared. Like, you are the most important person in your fucking life. You are the love of your life. And you're about to meet yourself in ways that you haven't before. Mm, let's get excited. I'm fucking stoked. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm stoked. Okay. Inner world contemplations. What beliefs do you currently hold about being prepared? First thing, automatic writing, let it come out. The beliefs that I currently hold about being prepared is that being prepared is something that you do to support yourself, and also something that you do if you are too weak to already have what you need. See, that's one. It's one of those little pieces of wisdom, those juicy pieces of change, possible change. You only prepare if you're weak, right? Too weak to already have what you need. What other beliefs do I currently hold about being prepared? Being prepared is something that important people do. I don't know that I'm important enough. Is what I do important enough to prepare for? Be tender with yourself. Friends, be gentle with yourself during this exercise. You may be, if you're lucky, you may bring up different spaces and places in which you have not been loving yourself or accepting yourself. And this can be hard for so many different reasons. And it's very vulnerable. I feel very vulnerable right now as I'm sharing this with you. And you can still feel that same vulnerability when it's just you. But these are the juicy parts. These are the parts in which you're like, I needed that belief for a reason at some point in my life. And those of you who know my story know that it has been not an easy experience as a child and into adulthood. And so all of these beliefs that I have, these are the beliefs that purging the pain and the shame. These are the beliefs that kept me safe during that time, kept me sane, allowed me to make it through my experience. But I don't need those anymore. And they served me so well. Now I get to shift into what beliefs does the version of you living in your future vision hold? This vision in which I get to be a walking reminder, a walking permission slip for everybody to know that they are valuable. The beliefs that I hold is that preparation, preparing myself is one of the most important things that I can do for myself and for everybody I come across every single day. Taking the time to give myself what I need is important and required. It is not an option. It is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Like stepping into my vision, right? It is a critical part of who I am. It is what allows me to create the abundance and success and love and beauty that I experience in this world. And that is a non negotiable for me. No longer are there any reasons in which I will not prepare myself or allowed myself to be something to be prepared for. And this goes into how I show up for other people and myself, and how I allow other people to show up for me. So there's going to be boundaries that are held, right? The people that cancel their sessions, or the people that, don't do the work to prepare for X, Y, and Z, um, at the property management job that I work at, or or my children. Will I allow them to walk into this world not being prepared in their own unique way? Right. So it's going to allow me to show up. So, right there, like these different beliefs, the beliefs that the version of me living in my future vision, those are those stepping stones. These are the pieces in which I get to weave and integrate into my day to day life. Right. And we get to do it one piece at a time. And if it takes me a month to weave in one piece, great. And not weaving in other pieces until we are ready. But we have this written down. Write it down so you can come back to it. You can revisit it. So you have something to remind you. I step into the identities that I currently hold about being prepared. Identities are who I believe myself to be, right? Currently, and I've been doing work on this for quite some time. I believe myself to be somebody worthy of carving out. I'm worth. So I'm going to step into here real quick and go into this. So my rising ritual and my setting ritual too now, but at the beginning, my rising ritual was literally 5 minutes of yoga. Oh, so much release. My goodness gracious. Was 5 minutes of yoga, 5 minutes of meditation, and 5 minutes of writing. And so it's like I had been going on and off with a rising ritual for 10 years now. And there's a lot of shame and judgment and guilt and into making me do this thing, right? Because at first I didn't start doing my rising ritual because I thought myself something worthy of being prepared. I started doing my rising ritual because I hated who I was and I wanted to change. I wanted to be different. And the super neat thing is that the more I did the yoga, the more I did the meditation, even though it took shame to get me there, it took beating myself up to get me there. And what I mean by that is essentially hating myself so much it brought me to the mat. I hated my body and I wanted it to change, so it brought me to the yoga mat. I hated my mind and how that made me feel, so it brought me to the meditation cushion. And I would beat myself up if I didn't go. I'd beat myself up when I did go. I hated myself. But the really cool thing about these practices is that it doesn't matter why we started, where I ended up is here, where now I have my morning practice, my rising ritual, not because I hate myself and want to change, but because I love myself and want to amplify that experience. And so, what identities do you currently hold about being prepared? Who do you believe yourself to be? I believe myself to be somebody who does a whole lot to prepare. And that used to make me feel weak, that I needed so much. And now that makes me feel powerful and strong that I give myself so much. What identities does the version of you living in your future vision hold? Exactly that and more. Because it begins, because right now, and this is beautiful. So, my future vision, I wake up and I do my rising ritual, right? And it prepares me for the day. But that is my overarching rising ritual. Now I'm being called to step in deeper. So, this version of me living in the future believes that I am somebody who prepares for every aspect of life, not just life in general, but every aspect of life, relationships, finances, spirituality, career, all of it. I have my daily life rising ritual, preparation ritual, and I have different preparations for each aspect of my life and everything that I do. I go into a conversation, I will have a preparation. I will be prepared for it. I will have preparation practices in place for all the things that I do. Not because I'm a control freak, not because of my OCD or perfectionist or people pleaser tendencies, but because I know I am worthy. And anybody who comes into my life, who comes into my energy field and frequency, I know is worthy too. And I know even if you don't come into my energy field and frequency, you are worthy as well. So I begin treating every single person. I am somebody who treats every single person as someone of value, someone worthy of being prepared for and being prepared. What thoughts do you currently have about being prepared? The thoughts that I currently have about being prepared, there are often times where, and yeah, I woke up this morning. This is a perfect one. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh my gosh, I fell asleep. Like I fell asleep early last night, hence waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Um, I passed out and I forgot to put the food that I made away last night, and I forgot to give my daughter her nighttime medicine. I ate my food and I sat down in my little nook over here and just passed out probably around 8, 8:30. I don't know. But I just couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. I was so exhausted. And so in that space, I did not feel prepared. I didn't feel like I was like the thoughts were not thoughts that were, oh, you're prepared. You like you're ready. You got this. It was, oh my gosh, I totally didn't do this and I didn't do this. And so in that, what thoughts do I currently have about being prepared? I'm gonna have to sit with this one. I'm not gonna be able to answer this on the spot with you guys. Yeah. And that's okay. Give yourself time. Give yourself time. Allow yourself to prepare for these questions. Prepare an environment in which you have the time and space to allow yourself to drop into that unconscious mind. Have a friend do this with you. That can be super helpful, having them ask you the questions and then you just automatically answer and record it. Right? Sometimes writing allows you that time for a filter. Allow yourself to record it so you can just speak it. Right? And what thoughts does the version of you living in your future vision hold? And what comes to my mind is the thoughts of the version of me living in the vision that I have surrounding the prepared way of being, the reality that's created through my intention of I know I am valuable, worthy of being prepared and prepared for, is what do I need to be alive and aligned? That is the question that I will ask myself over and over and over. What do I need? That's it. And then whatever comes is my guide to being prepared. What stories do you currently have about being prepared? What stories do you tell about how you prepare for this world or how you prepare yourself? What stories have you been told? Are the stories that you tell and that you have, like, are the stories that you tell and hold your stories, or were these stories you were given? And then do those stories serve you? Do they support your vision? What stories do support your vision? What stories does the version of you living in your future vision hold and tell? The stories that the version of me living in my future vision talks excitedly about how I prepare, talks excitedly about everything that I give to myself. The version of me living in my future realizes that my entire life is a preparation. Every waking moment is a preparation, and I get to experience that. The stories of the version of me living in the future, in my future vision, talk about how my entire life has already prepared me for this. The stories that I tell are of realizations and awarenesses of how things that have happened in my past have prepared me exactly for this moment. And that preparation happens whether we are aware of it or not. But it's really fun when we get to bring awareness to it. You get to begin weaving those stories. Now that we see where we are and where we desire to be, we can make a plan, a strategy, a step-by-step guide of actionable shifts. Remember, it is the accumulation of small shifts that create the biggest impact. So start small, one easy thing at a time, and celebrate the fuck out of yourself. This work is not for the faint of heart, and you are here doing it, being the change you wish to see in the world. That is leadership. Now let's begin paving the path you are meant to be on, right? I've recently realized that I say the word right a lot. It's similar to like, that filler world. And I was just very aware that I had said that at the end of a sentence without needing to. So that was that pause of recenter. I got distracted. I just want to reiterate this. This work is not for the faint of heart. You're willing to take a look at some of the shadow aspects of yourself, the aspects that you haven't been willing to allow yourself to see for a very long time. And that takes courage, that takes bravery. And then to step into the vulnerability of transformation, of change, of being willing to step into the unknown, living a way in which you have never lived before. That's profound. That truly is leadership. Taking the ownership and accountability into yourself for making the changes in the world that you want to see. Instead of just talking about all the changes that should happen, you are the one that is here stepping on this path, making the changes, creating the change. That is leadership. So take a moment to celebrate the fuck out of yourself. You made it. You are here. You did what you needed to do to bring yourself to the space of being here, knowing that you are worthy of being a leader in this world, in this mission, in this new world that is coming to be. Good fucking work. So the practice. List out the actionable shifts. Here's a place, right? We had our brain dump. Now let's refine it a little bit. 3 things for each of the 4 different aspects, right? See? Right. Okay, that's my process for change is telling on myself. Um is naming what it is the shift that I'm making. Um and then calling myself out. And I also want to take a moment to celebrate me because I love that I'm not beating myself up, but it's more like a fun game. Like, you did it, called it, kind of like if I were drinking, it'd be one of those drinking games where like every time I said the word right, everybody takes a shot. That's kind of the feel I have for it. I don't drink though, so no drinking of alcohol doesn't make my body feel good. But you know what I mean? It's fun, all the same. So I just wanted to share my process with that, which is perfect. Again, we're at the practice, so have fun with it. It gets to be fun. It gets to be easy. It gets to be light. It doesn't have to be this like, I am warrior making this change. Ah, right? It doesn't have to be a battlefield anymore. We get to play. And so here we get to list out what are the shifts, right? What belief shifts. So these are going to be these items that we listed down here at the bottom. What stories, what our future, the version of us that lives in our future vision hold, what beliefs, identities, thoughts, and stories. This just makes it a little easier to write out. And of course, if you need more room, then by all means, more room. I might actually, that's a good idea. I'll put some pages for contemplation, some empty pages to allow you some room to expand a little bit more on that. On the back. So that way, if you want to use that, you can. So inner world, outer world. Our inner world is the foundation of our outer world, and our outer world is a reflection of our inner world, meaning our experience of our external world, of our outer world, is a reflection of our experience inside. So if I experience this world as this magical, beautiful place that is so supportive and loving and amazing and magical, I experience that because that's how I experience myself. If I experience the outer world as a war zone, as a battlefield, that is also how I experience myself. And so it is a reflection. And so when we want our outside world to change, the first step is making that shift inside. As you begin to shift, your beliefs, identities, thoughts, and stories, you'll begin to see shifts in the world you live in. You will begin to see through new eyes. It's a wonderful thing to experience how you are the creator of this reality and see how these simple shifts can make a deep and profound impact. The next leg of your journey is to make an even bigger impact by going through the same deep dive into our outer world. And so we're going to explore that on Sunday, what that looks like. What does it look like to make those shifts in the outer world? What kind of shifts will we be seeing? And what kind of shifts can we make in this external reality? And I invite you to have fun, my friends. Have fun, celebrate yourself, enjoy yourself. I know this can be hard, but don't forget to add sprinkles on it. Everything deserves sprinkles. I am so grateful to be here with all of you. Thank you for joining me at whatever time it is that you join me. And I will see you on Sunday at our next gathering as we dive into what it is to embody in our outer world the prepared way of being. Have a wonderful day. Love to all of you. Oh.